and it's distracting me so much. So much. But it looks really cool. Like, you can definitely see... Ugh, I don't like that. Maybe that's one of the distracting parts about this lip gloss. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, then welcome. My name's Christina, and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. I just got the Sephora package in the mail, and we have here all of the shades of the brand new Huda Beauty lip glosses. You guys already know I am addicted to lip products. That is what my channel started off as, lip swatches, and nothing has changed. It's kind of crazy to me to think that this is Huda Beauty's very first lip gloss formulation. I, for some reason, was under the impression that she had already come out with lip glosses. It just seems like a Huda Beauty type of product, you know? So since this is the first one, I'm very, very, very excited to play with them, feel the texture of them, see what these colors look like, and just overall the formulation, because Huda and her team have talked a lot about this formulation being distracting AF. That was like the tagline for these. So we're gonna start off with the specs, start with the swatches and the first impression, and then you guys will get my final first thoughts after that. Like I said, I have all 7 shades here. They did come out with a total of 7, including the clear one. I decided to go ahead and just get the clear one. I usually skip out on them, but I figured if I had a clear gloss from Huda Beauty that's supposed to be super drippy, I wouldn't hate that. These retail for $19. I purchased mine off of Sephora's app during the app early release, but they are now in stores and online. I feel like we have definitely seen other lip glosses or lip tints and stuff like that retail for a lot more, or at least a little bit more than that. So I actually am pretty happy with that price point. It says it's a hydrating, non-sticky lip gloss for high shine lips that visibly smooth and blur fine lines. That was another thing I watched on Huda Beauty's Instagram. They said that the formulation is supposed to fill in and kind of go over and smooth your lip lines. You guys know if there's anything that I hate, it is when I can see my lip lines through my lip product. Hydrating, moisturizing, fine line smoothing, melt onto the lips. They have just kind of nailed the marketing for descriptions for me. Every time I read their descriptions on things, I'm like, wow, that sounds like the dream product. It has vitamin E infused with vegan collagen. It has a big juicy doe foot that has an innovative reservoir that holds the max formula for instant glossy lips. So I unboxed all of the shades here for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and insert some arm swatches here so you guys can see what all of the shades look like compared to each other. I'm debating on if I should swatch the clear one as like our first impression for the actual formulation. I don't think we're going to necessarily see how much it fills in those lip lines that way, but I think I will try this one first. This will give us a good idea of what the actual texture of the lip glosses are like. Now, a couple things that I look for in a lip gloss: when it's supposed to be plumping, I do prefer minty over like a spicy plumper. I don't like whenever my lip gloss gets those stringy bits whenever I have too much lip gloss on. I do like when the lip gloss kind of smooths over the lips and fills in those lip lines like this one says it does. And I really could go either way with opacity with lip glosses, but typically I have found that the pattern for me is I prefer more of a light medium buildable opacity. I like something that I can wear sheer on top of a lipstick color, and I like something that I can wear by itself. I am missing some nails here. I am going to put them on after this video. I just couldn't wait to do the video. It is a very big doe foot, and you can kind of see a big bubble right on top of the actual like felt of the doe foot. It kind of looks like a water dewdrop, like right on top of the doe foot. Is that normal for colored lip glosses? Am I just noticing this specifically because it's clear? It's really cool looking. Have you guys seen this before? It looks like the doe foot is wearing like a helmet. It does have a scent. It's like a sweet, sugary scent. I always say vanilla, but warm, sugary vanilla. Okay, here we go with the clear one. All right, I went in with everything that is on the doe foot that I can pretty much get off of there. And I'm gonna say right now that this doe foot I actually really, really like. I'm not quite sure what the difference is, why it's so innovative. For some reason, I expected this to kind of have like a hole right in the middle because it says that it has that reservoir in it. But I think that maybe it's just kind of the way that it pinches up towards the top that it's supposed to be the reservoir, and the way that it sits on top of the actual felt. I think that dispensed the perfect amount of lip gloss for me. I'm sure that other people may want even more lip gloss than this, but honestly, this one layer looks pretty good. I am seeing while I'm talking that I am getting those stringy bits that I was talking about. Maybe that's one of the distracting parts about this lip gloss. I'll show you guys here. The texture of this is a little bit thicker than I anticipated, and not thicker as in it's sticky, thicker as in when it went onto the lips, it almost felt like a lip gloss lip balm. If you've tried the Ole Henriksen lip peptide treatments, it kind of has that same kind of thickness, but it's a little bit thinner than that, so it still has slip like a lip gloss does. I feel like that was a good description, but it could also be very confusing. I don't know if it's because it's a clear gloss. I don't know if it's because I'm just really noticing it because it's a clear gloss, or if all glosses do this, but I do kind of feel like it's filling in those lip lines. They're not disappearing, you know? Like I can still see the contours of my lip lines, but they definitely look filled in. Like my lips don't look wrinkly. We'll just go in order of lightest to darkest. So the next one would be Sugar Baby, which is described as being a light pink shade. You can see that there's definitely like a big dollop of product on that reservoir. I don't know if this is more than the clear one or if it's the same and I'm just seeing more of it because it's pigmented. As far as this shade goes, I feel like everything that was on this doe foot is too much gloss for what I go for. And these are very pigmented. Ooh, when you press your lips together, you do get like that demarcation line there. Okay, once you kind of press your lips together and clean up the edges of the extra lip gloss, it looks a lot better. This color is not my favorite. I don't typically go for light pinks, and again, it's doing that stringy bit thing that I don't like. And sometimes with lighter lip glosses, it does kind of like emphasize the different textures on my lips. And this one is definitely doing that. It kind of looks like it's separating into different sections of my lips. I'll try to zoom you guys in so you can see what I'm talking about. Personally, when it comes to lighter lip glosses, I don't like when it does that. It doesn't look like it's smoothing over the lips with this color. As I'm sitting here, I feel like it's kind of sinking into my lip lines a lot more than the clear one. Obviously, you can't really tell with the clear one though, because there's no pigment in order to tell if it's moving around or making weird shapes and stuff. So I guess we will see with the other shades, but again, this is the shade Sugar Baby. Next, we're gonna go in with Honey, which is a light peachy nude shade. Ooh, these doe foots are really hard to take out though, I will say. And I did decide that I wasn't going to use the entire doe foot, like front and back of the doe foot, to apply this, because with the last shade Sugar Baby, it just was too much lip gloss for my lips. So I pretty much just used one side, and even then that was plenty of lip gloss. So just make sure that you customize it to your liking and, you know, the shape and size of your lips and just whatever works for you. But this is Honey, and this is going to be the amount that I typically go for when it comes to lip gloss. I kind of like it. I think it would work really well topping a lip color, like a darker lip color, or even topping a darker lip liner. This kind of reminds me of Honey Waffles from Fenty, if Honey Waffles had a like lighter shade, you know? This is like a 0.5 Honey Waffles, I guess. It is a true peachy nude shade. I don't think it pulls too warm. It doesn't pull too cool. It's right there in the middle. So I can see this working for a lot of different lip combinations, especially if you want to just neutralize whatever lip color you have on. And it's still doing that thing where it's giving me that weird like pattern in my lips. And what it pretty much is that the product is sinking into those lip lines, and it's just becoming even more pigmented in those areas because that product is pooling in there and just becoming more pigmented because naturally you have more product sitting in there. If I rub my lips together, I can pretty much get rid of it, but I mean, that happened within the span of less than 5 minutes, so just imagine how many times you would have to like rub your lips together. I wonder if this would be solved, like this issue would be solved if you were wearing a lipstick or a lip liner underneath it. It may, because those things may fill in your lip lines just enough to where the lip gloss will sit on top of all of that and not sink in. I'm gonna have to test that theory out. Next is Foxy, which is described as a caramel brown, and I love my caramel tones and my brown tones, so I'm excited to see what this one looks like. Just gonna wipe the excess off. Just get a very small amount on here. I actually wiped off both sides and I grabbed just a tiny little amount on there. All right, here is the shade Foxy. I went in for another tiny little dip on the corner of that lip gloss there, and I added just a little more for more pigmentation. But this shade is beautiful. I love it. I don't think that it's going to be too warm, but I can't imagine that this would look terrible on anyone that has like a cool undertone. Still doing this stringy thing, even though I kind of like customize how much I put on, and you can kind of feel it in the center when it like strings, you know, you can feel the little ribbons. Ooh, I don't like that. So this pigmentation I do like. I don't feel like I would go in with more gloss than this, but I really want to see what they mean by like being distractingly glossy. So what I'm going to do is add some more gloss here with the risk of this becoming too stringy. Look, this looks kind of gloss-like. My lips look kind of huge. And you know, the more product you put in there, the more plushy my lips look. Like you cannot see my lip lines anymore because there's like practically 3 layers of gloss on here. But with that does come even more stringing, and it's distracting me so much. Like all of those lip lines are completely filled in, and we're not getting any of the product pooling into the lip lines like we were with the other shades because there's just so much lip gloss on the lips that it's covering it up, you know? Let's do the finger trick just to see if we can get rid of that stringing there. Yeah, it's pretty much gone, the stringing, but I can feel it like in the corners and I don't like that. Going in now with Bombshell, which is a pinky brown, always my favorites. Pinky browns are like my go-to lip colors. I think I'm gonna like wearing this a lot more sheer because it just gives you a nice wash of color. It's still very glossy. It's obviously a lip gloss, but it's not going to be a drippy lip gloss. It's not doing the thing where it sinks into my fine lines and giving me like that weird pattern and it's pooling in my fine lines. I don't know if it's because of the shade, and I don't know if it's because maybe I got the amount of product correct on my lips to where it's not going to do that. But either way, this is my favorite shade so far, definitely. I think this is one that I will be wearing a lot. So now let's go in with what I assume is the intended amount, which is a lot more gloss than what I'm wearing. This color in Bombshell I think looks great sheer, but it also looks really great full on with full pigmentation. And again, it's not emphasizing those lip lines. It has completely filled it in with this thicker layer of gloss. This one is beautiful. This is definitely my favorite so far. Next we have Posh, which is a deep rose shade. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit mauve, maybe like a grayish purple tone. Surprisingly enough, recently I have actually been really loving cool tones in my eye makeup and my lip products. I think mauves have been so beautiful, and I like grayish tone eyeshadows and silvers and stuff, and I think this shade in Posh is falling into that category. This kind of gives a really nice wash of color. It's a little bit deeper of, I would describe this as a mauve tone. I think a deep rose works for this too. I probably wouldn't be gravitating towards this color if I just like gave it a glance in the tube, but on the lips sheared out, I think it's really beautiful, and I also feel like this is going to be a really great lip color topper. And of course, let's go in with more gloss. Also a really beautiful shade sheared out, as well as wearing it more full pigmentation. And the gloss on this I think is so beautiful. It gives it a lot of dimension. So even though it's a darker shade, I think that it still has some like highlighted areas because of that glossy finish. I think it's so beautiful. And lastly, we have the shade Coco, which is described as a deep brown. This color is really beautiful. This leans more as a cool brown, but I'm still really liking the effect it's giving me on the lips. I think that sheared out like this is probably the way to go for myself because I don't typically wear really dark lip colors. And let's add some more to see the full pigmentation. This one's a little bit more difficult to build up like full even pigmentation. I actually really like it, especially for this color. I think that I prefer this one fully built up versus being a sheer shade. I don't typically wear deeper shades like this or like reds or anything like that. For me, those kind of are more statement colors for myself. And this falls in that category, but dude, this is pretty. Ooh, my teeth are so white. Really beautiful shade, but this is definitely the least consistent when it comes to even pigmentation. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to actually revisit this shade in the shade Honey, and I want to try to put a little less gloss and then do the full pigmentation like I did with the shades following that, so I can kind of see if that was like user error or if it's just these lighter shades that are just a little bit harder for me to work with. So this is like the most minimal amount I think that I can put on with while still getting color. I see it's starting to kind of seep into those lip lines. So let's add full pigmentation to see what it looks like that way. Yeah, even with more product on the lips, I'm still getting it pooling and I'm getting it like going into those lip lines. Ooh, that looks horrible. Ooh, yikes. So this is like pretty much the entire doe foot on my lips, and you can see it's really patchy. The pigmentation is inconsistent in this one when you try to like blend it out onto the lips, and it's starting to sink into those lip lines. All right guys, so now let's get into my final first impressions on these. I put the shade Bombshell back onto my lips for this last part of it, but I took some notes here as I was going so I wouldn't forget all of my points. It doesn't really have any sort of minty or spicy feeling. I like that Huda Beauty put these out as lip glosses because this formulation is very thick and balmy and it still has like a really good tint to it. And I feel like right now in this moment in time, a lot of brands are kind of taking similar formulations and calling them lip oils when really they're pretty much lip glosses. They're just not sticky glosses, you know? I feel like the term lip oil is a very buzzword right now because everyone wants a good nourishing lip oil, but this has the same claims. It's supposed to be hydrating and nourishing, gives you the gloss, and it also gives you the pigmentation. So I just appreciate that, you know, they called it what it is. It is a lip gloss, and I think it is a lip gloss through and through pretty much. One thing about the packaging, I like how clean the wand comes out. It's very difficult to take this out of the tube, I will say, and the tube does get a little messy because I was wiping a lot of the excess product off of there, but the actual wand right here, I really enjoy how clean it is. Pretty much all the product that you're gonna need and any excess product is going to be on that doe foot, mainly on the tip of that doe foot, so you don't have to worry about having like a big old mess on the actual wand or all over the doe foot. I do like the curvature that this has. I think that it fits really nicely on the lips. I don't think it's going to be universal though. You know, if you have smaller lips, this may be too big of a doe foot for you, so I would really recommend to scrape off excess product and then go in and kind of build from there. I like that you're able to wear these sheer, but with saying that, when you wear them more sheer, you're not going to get as much gloss to them. So you're kind of sacrificing that drippy glossiness for less pigmentation and less thickness on the lips. I think that a brand or a product that does that really well, where it's still very juicy and drippy and wet looking but has pigmentation, are the Tower 28 Milky Lip Jellies. Those are so great to give you that kind of aesthetic if that's what you're going for. This one I kind of feel like is like a trade-off. You either decide if you want more pigmentation and less like thickness on the lips, or you get full pigmentation and more glossiness, but with that comes like more stringiness, you know. Of course, like I mentioned, the little finger trick to take excess product off of the center of your mouth will really help, and I recommend it for this specific product, but I can't say how much that's going to help throughout the day. Another thing I want to note is as I'm talking, and even though I did the little finger trick, you can kind of feel it on the outer corners of your lips, and you know what it feels like? It's kind of like when you're wearing maybe a matte lipstick or just another lip product in general that kind of gives you like the white crusties in the center of your lips. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's what it feels like. I can't imagine this is gonna do that though, because this is a gloss, so it has those liquidy properties to it, you know? I don't know, but it feels like it's giving me that same like lip feeling, and I don't like that sensation. I'm just gonna try to get rid of that. I do think that this is going to be on the higher end of pigmentation. I would call this a full pigmentation lip gloss because it does seem to deliver that. However, I will say that it was a struggle with the lighter colors with Sugar Baby and Honey. It just was not consistent when it came to pigmentation on myself. Maybe if you do have lighter lips or, you know, different texture of lips or whatever it may be, it may work for you. But for myself, that was a little too difficult. I would probably have to stay in this mid-range right here if I wanted a lip gloss that I felt confident in wearing and something that would feel comfortable and I knew would look good throughout the day. And these are the shades Foxy, Bombshell, and Posh. I do have to say that with some of these shades, like the ones that were working for me, like Bombshell was and Foxy, you know, you can really achieve that glass-like, completely like filtered, blurred lip look like I have right here. I just put a ton of this gloss on here. Realistically, I don't know if I would actually wear this much gloss, but if this is the look that you like, if this is the look that you've been trying to get, then I think that you can do it, but not with all of the shades. Definitely the ones that are more consistent with pigmentation. But it looks really cool. Like, you can definitely see how glossy this is. I'm pretty sure that this is like one of those lip glosses where if I had seen someone wearing it out, I would be like, dang, your lips are so glossy and like smooth. I just wish that all of them did that, you know? I wish all of them were this consistent in pigmentation, in the coverage of the lips. I don't know. I feel 50-50 about these. I like them, but I also don't like them. Like, I like the idea behind them, and I like the way that I can achieve it, but only with some colors. I really hate the way that it was emphasizing my lip lines, like the lighter shades, and I did not like the stringiness of any of them. Can I forgive it because of this like glossy shine? I don't know. I would recommend these to anyone that really enjoys a drippy lip gloss, but if you're not a huge lip product person and you don't like the feeling of lip product on your lips, I would highly advise you to stay away from these. It definitely feels very thick on your lips. So that is my full review and first impression on these guys. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you're going to be picking up any of these shades, if any of them called out to you, if you're a Huda Beauty fan. I would love to know. I would love to hear from you guys. But if you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!